Hi, my name is Summer Hale, and this is my final project overview. This is called the GAP project, and this is the homepage for the project. Once I upload this video to YouTube, the link for the video will be here on the first page. The next page is an introduction to this project. It's called the Great Applied Problem Project, and it would be for a geometry classroom towards the end of the year after a volume or surface area unit, because it's going to use a lot of concepts the students have used throughout the year in geometry: Pythagorean theorem, trig, area of a circle, volume of a cylinder, unit conversions, and many other concepts that they would already need to know to be able to do this project. The first day, students will pick groups of 2 or 3, and then we will introduce the problem in class. If the students want to find out more information, they can go here to my site and go over under the geometry tab and click the GAP project. And these are the instructions the students will receive that day, and then they can see them here as well. It's going to be just a review for this unit, and it tells them they've been hired by the city of Westerville to investigate a highly important problem the city is having with its drainage system. The city needs to figure out what volume of water can pass through various pipes throughout the city, and then it goes into all the details below. They can scroll down, they're given the diameter of the tube, the height, the depth of the water. If they have questions, there's a link to a blog here where they can post their questions and a classmate or myself can answer. And then their classmates can see the questions that have already been asked. Then after they work out this solution on paper, they're going to be required to do an Excel spreadsheet for this project and put in all of the information, all of the equations into that spreadsheet. When they're finished with the spreadsheet, they're going to email it to me, and then they're going to be required to do a presentation to the class. It's not going to be a formal presentation, but I will ask them to show me how they solved one step of the problem. You can see below here on the rubric, there's the radius, height of a triangle, base of a triangle. They will be required to explain how they solved one of those things during their presentation. And then you can see the point values for those, point values for the Excel spreadsheet, the presentation, and then the total there. And then if we go back to the site for the project, after they've worked it out on paper, I can see them taking the first day and then some of the second day to work out a solution just in their groups without Excel or anything. And then day 3 going in and me introducing the basics of Excel, how to do the Pythagorean theorem in Excel, how to use the sum and all the equation editor buttons on Excel, because many of them have not seen that or experienced that, so they need to be introduced to some of the basics to be able to put their information into the Excel spreadsheet. And then they'll have a couple days, depending on how long they take. This may be a 7-day unit, just depending on the classes and how advanced they are. And then once they get the Excel spreadsheet done, they can work on their presentations and make sure each member in their group knows exactly how to do each step for the project. So that's kind of an overview of what will happen day to day. If we scroll back up on the left side here are all the tabs for the information. The second one here is the unit standards. Go through the Common Core standards, the NETS standards for students and teachers, and all of those are there, listed there. And there's a lot of Common Core standards because this project is a review of a lot of different topics that the kids have been introduced to and will use during the project. The next tab here is assessments. The assessment for this will be their Excel spreadsheet and their presentation of the project. They'll also have to turn in a hard copy of how they worked out the problem on paper, and the point values are here for each of those. The Excel file is 10 points, the presentation is 10 points, a total of 40. So if they, are able to work out this problem on paper, then, this is a great review, great way to see what they have learned throughout the year in geometry. The next tab here is the Technology Tools tab and goes through the 6 tools I used for this project. First one being this site, the project website I created to describe and display my final project. The next tool being the blog that the students have the chance and the opportunity to use to post questions that myself or classmates can answer. And if you click on here, this will take you to the blog, and you can see, like I did an introduction overview, just said if you guys have questions, this is where you can post them, and then they can publish and edit and share their questions with the class. The next tool used was Microsoft Excel. Students have to put all their information into this and then email their project to me. Number 4 being this Screencast-O-Matic to create my review video for everyone to see, and then YouTube to post and upload the video to YouTube. And the last one being my peer evaluation survey. You can click on it here and you can see the questions, but I used Google Forms to create my peer evaluation survey. And that is one of the last links here. If you click on survey, it takes you to the questions to answer, so that's where you can find to evaluate the project. And the last link here, there's nothing there yet, but once I get all of the information from everybody's reviews, this is where I'll put all that information, fix things, show what I fixed and what needs to be tweaked or edited, and this is where I'll put all that information and put all the results and summary of all the data collected from other classmates. And this is it for my project review. You can find this link to the video here once I've uploaded it to YouTube.